to Golf in the Cosmos, where physics meets the fairway and the universe takes a swing at your mind. I'm Kevin Hammond. This is my brother, Andrew Hammond. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. It's been a busy week, but glad to be on the pod here.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It was pretty impressive what you just did. We were just playing the 18th hole at Los Lagos, Costa Mesa, and we channeled the Thad Daber energy and played with our just a 6-iron.
Yeah.
And you parred it.
Yeah, I made par with a nice one putt to finish with a 6-iron.
It was impressive. I mean, the tee off, it was a good tee shot. And then another, obviously a good second shot. It was a par 5. And it really came down to the approach, right?
Yeah, it left me, after 2 6-irons, it left me with 132 to a middle pin, kind of a nice opening up on the front of the green, so I could bounce it and roll it up. And really had to just gauge how far I had to carry. And I assumed, I needed to carry the 6-iron about 100 yards, and that ended up working, leaving me just short of the green.
Yeah, and just how you were able to putt with it really proved, what Thad Daber did there.
Well, I think it proved
in 1987.
I think it proved that a golf club can be used in many ways. One club can do multiple things, especially a 6 or a 7-iron. And it proved its point when I had to putt with it, and I had a different technique than I did with my chip, than I did with my 130-yard shot. I had to adjust each time to be kind of ready to hit that next shot.
Yeah, I mean, I got an 8. Okay, I played with a 6-iron and got an 8. But just the fact that you parred, man, that was just impressive to witness, honestly, because it's not like we took multiple takes. There's going to be a YouTube video. If you check out the YouTube channel for Golf in the Cosmos, we'll have a video up of this. And I think the next step is to do 18 holes.
Yeah,
with the 6-iron.
Oh yeah, at least 9. I mean, I think 9 would be a fun way to test it.
But you got to beat Thad Daber's record. You got to play 18 holes. Right?
Yeah, you got to play all of them. So, I mean, I think you could do. I think 2 under was his record.
Yeah, it was 2 under on a par 72. But true, if you're done, if 9 holes goes by and you're 17 over, then maybe we just take out the driver.
Well, yeah, I don't think that'll happen, because in reality, with the benefits of taking 6-iron off the tee is that the dispersion is much lower. So you're never going to be out of bounds, unless you make a bad mistake. But for the most part, you're going to be in play on every single shot, which is where most people lose strokes, is their ball goes in the water or you go out of bounds. So.
But at what point does the 6-iron start to, like a long par 4, where does the 6-iron start to, you can't reach it anymore, and then you do have to plan on the chip and the one putt,
yeah,
right?
You're pretty much, well, the thing is, you figure out what shot you're good at. I know I can hit a 6-iron 125 yards with this swing.
Mm-hmm.
You can put yourself to 125 yards on a super long par 4 or a par 5 to put you in that spot where you go, I can hit this shot. I've done it before. Let's put myself in that spot again.
Yeah.
And that strategy rolls through even with wedges, right? People say, oh, put it to your number, right? It's like, why do you do that? It's so you can actually be where you hit the same shot that you've done 1,000 times and land it near the hole, because you've set yourself up for success.
But I just wonder, how much do we need to dial in the 6? Do you need to practice? How much do you need to go the range with the 6 to try to beat Thad Daber's record?
Yeah,
because I believe you can. What I witnessed today, I think you could shoot a 70. I guess beating the record would be shooting a 69 with just the 6-iron.
Yeah.
But damn, you seem to be able to putt with the 6.
Yeah, I mean, my technique.
I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, I explained it in the video, but it's pretty much, you want to you've seen people break their putters on tour, right? Their putter breaks and they have to putt with their wedge, right?
How does a putter break?
I don't know. They throw it in the water. I've just seen.
Okay, so they purposely break it.
Oh yeah, usually.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's not an accident. Usually they haven't made a single putt and they're like.
Usually it's not. It's not an accident. Is
Yeah.
What you're saying. Okay.
Yes. So there's a technique where you blade the ball. So you're using just the blade, the bottom of the club, and you can actually use that to roll it just like the way a putter would, where there's not really loft on it, so you don't launch the ball. You're much more topping it, and it's rolling in the direction of the face.
Got it. Right. Well, and that's what you did.
Yeah. And it worked. It
to
happened
make
to drop
the par putt. Yeah, I mean, you had such a good roll. You put such a good roll on the ball to the point that it went in the hole.
Yep.
And it happened to be for par. I still didn't 3-putt though, I must say, with the 6-iron. Yep. So it was a 2-putt with the 6-iron. I actually haven't 3-putted in like 15 holes. That's all I've really played in the last week, unfortunately. But all those holes I have not. And I mean, I had a couple tests, today.
Yep.
We played like 5 or 6 holes, and I had putts. His argument is, well, you didn't have a GIR, so you were chipping.
Yeah, so you were never far away from the hole to have to hit a lag putt. Like,
right.
I don't know if you hit a lag putt today.
But my first 9, when I made the last episode, that was at like a par 3 course essentially. So I was on the green a lot. I know you weren't there for that, but I had some long putts, and I 2-putted. And I'm just, to me, it's just continuing this kind of, I'm just not going to 3-putt. I don't 3-putt. And to me, it all goes back to I don't birdie. So anytime I'm looking at a great birdie putt, I go, you're not going to make that. And then guess what? I don't 3-putt. So to me, it's like, if I don't 3-putt, it's like getting a birdie.
Yeah.
Because when I 3-putt, that's a bogey, or it's a double. And then it's like that removes a birdie.
Yeah.
Essentially. So every 3-putt you get is like, it's like all those great birdies just deleted from your scorecard.
100%. The 3-putt is essentially an error in putting, unless you're like on the other side of a ridge or whatever. But
are you kind of surprised about the record? It was only 30 rounds. The world record for no 3-putts is 30 rounds by Freddie Jakobsen. And I talked about this in the last episode, but I thought it was going to be more.
Yeah, you would think
30 rounds. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. It all depends. Sometimes you get unlucky and your ball's barely on the green, but you're on the wrong side of the green, and like that may have been how he lost
True,
it.
it's just kind of a stats game.
Yeah, because it does come down to the approach, where like, okay, if you're within a proximity of the hole.
But how often do amateurs 3-putt from a great spot?
Often.
That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. That's my problem. That's what was happening to me.
Right. Well, I mean, the 3-putts from short distance are 100% the idea that you're like, I can make this, because it's a naive approach where you're like, I can actually make this putt, and you end up hitting it way too hard. Like that, I think, is your problem.
Yes.
But a lot of other people's problems is that they're short, but they end up kind of leaving themselves 2 to 3
I've done both, but typically it's I get greedy.
Yeah, and you don't really 3-putt when you leave it short, unless it was like 10 feet short and it was just a mistake. But if you were trying to make it and you left it short, usually you're left with a tap-in. So the strategy you're employing kind of is I don't birdie is I'm just going to roll it up near the hole and it might drop, but it probably won't. But you'll have a tap-in for par. And those are just, you move on to the next hole with such a positive attitude.
Yeah, in the 15 holes I've played, not like all of them were for birdie, but none of the birdies have dropped yet. But
I see.
But I still haven't 3-putted, so it's like I birdied in my mind.
Yeah.
Because every time that you do 3-putt, it's like deleting a birdie that you don't even have.
Yeah.
So I don't even have a birdie to delete, and I'm just getting screwed by 3-putting.
Yep. Because even if you try to make it, it still doesn't go in just as many times as when you're not trying to make it when it comes to putting.
Yeah. I mean, so the fact that we were channeling Thad Daber's energy, he has the world record, shot a 70 with only a 6-iron, and I didn't even 3-putt with the 6-iron. So
yeah,
but I still got an 8. But you 1-putted with a 6-iron. I mean, that's pretty impressive. But overall, how's everything else going, man?
Good. Yeah, I think I golfed 2 times this week, 2 18 holes. One, I think I shot 3 over, and then
was that Arizona?
Yeah, in Arizona.
Oh, cool.
It was great. Yeah,
you avoided the rain. right? Was it not rainy?
It was perfect. We got there before the storm
So funny.
came through California to Arizona, and then we actually had to drive through it on the way home. It was pretty sketchy sometimes. It was like tons of rain coming down. We had to be careful driving. But
yeah, were you on auto drive or
no,
autopilot? What do they call it on the Tesla?
Yeah, I don't pay for the full self-driving.
You bought a Tesla but won't pay for the auto drive.
For long drives, I do it. But
yeah, Arizona's not long enough.
No,
for sure. Okay, so what course did you play in Arizona?
Oh my gosh, the Biltmore Estates course.
Okay.
It's kind of north of.
And
Phoenix.
were you the first tee time out?
I was probably the fourth, fifth tee time.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great, beautiful weather.
And I want to stop you for a second and you booked this how many days in advance?
I showed up that morning.
And this was a Saturday?
It was a Friday morning.
Okay, Friday morning. I guess I'll give you that. But I mean, there's some listeners out here that might live in Southern California where the population's a little more than Arizona, but good luck booking kind of a morning tee time.
Yeah,
unless you're booking 7 days in advance, like on the dot, the second it opens, and you got to beat the bots to book a tee time. So good luck.
No, straight up.
To drive 5 hours to Arizona, and then maybe you can get out on a golf course.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. The night before we got there at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, I have to golf. I'm here. So I saw the tee time available on Golf Now.
Night before?
Yeah, the night before there was like a twosome opening spot there, and I was like, I'm just gonna show up. Like, there's no way somebody's gonna book that. And showed up and paid the price for a round that I don't think it was worth that.
How much was it?
Like $170.
Well, I mean, it's starting to get to their prime season.
Yeah,
in
it's just the
Arizona.
green. The greens were overseeded, so they had it was like a fuzzy green, and everyone in our group were hitting putts and leaving them 8 feet short. Like it was absurd how slow they were. It was like no fun to putt.
You shot 3 over?
3 or 4 over. Yeah,
okay.
I think 3 over with 34
You must have had a better back because I was following on the green. I was following your front.
Yeah, I think my back was even or
that makes sense because you were like 3 over on the front, and then I stopped watching.
Yeah, it was something like that. The round score looked fine.
But I mean, you played well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hitting the ball like after not really playing over the last couple months or month.
Yeah,
I'm hitting the ball like I have been hitting the range every day.
Yeah,
but like we played 6 holes today, and the putts are almost going in.
Yeah,
they're rolling right by the hole, but they just won't drop. And the only thing I can do is just blame the Cosmos for, why they're not going in. But really, to me, it feels like I'm misreading them just slightly enough.
Yeah,
to where they go over the edge or they fall behind the hole rather than in it.
Well, I hope a lot of the people out there listening are starting to take themselves out of the equation more. I mean, that's the goal kind of here is blame the Cosmos.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't figured it out yet, if you're on episode 5 now and you haven't figured it out, it's like, it's not your fault.
Yeah. It's
blame the Cosmos. And then you'll actually start to play better.
Yeah. You'll at least, it's a combination of caring a ton about trying to make it, but once it's rolling or once it's in the air, you obviously have no control, but a lot of us talk to our golf ball.
Well, I think it's a combination of caring a ton about get the tee time, show up, make sure you have your shoes on, care about the game, but then the second that you tee off, stop caring.
Yeah.
like you have to prioritize this game, you have to love the game, but then the second that it begins, it's now out of your hands.
Yeah,
in a sense, because you've done everything that you can to put yourself in that position to have a tee time. You have your clubs, you have your shoes on, you put new spikes in your shoes, and then it's like now is the time to sit back and let it play out.
You let the story tell itself, kind of like you did all the prep, you practiced, you set yourself up for success. But once you're on stage, you let the play or the opera happen. The drama will play itself out, and the game is so fun and creative. And
fickle, too.
Yeah, and very subtle, where a small mistake can lead to a big number. But you end up... The story ends up happening on its own. And nobody
Yeah,
can
there's-
tell you what you're going to shoot before you start playing.
Oh, wouldn't that be? Yeah.
Yeah. We often have goals like, okay, I'm gonna shoot in the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you try your hardest, but you haven't broken 70 in a few months or broken 80 in a few months.
You kind of never know when it's going to happen. The one time we played and I shot 69, it was a par 70, so it was only one under, but I don't think we knew it was going to happen that day. It was just kind of like, oh, like everything was on. I'm just firing.
Yep.
You know, and I'm still an 8.5 handicap. So it's not like it was truly an outlier.
Yep.
Now looking back, I hate to say that, but in public here, but like it actually, the 69 was an outlier, but I shot it at, Mesa Linda, which is not the longest course at all.
Right.
But still, it did happen.
Well, it makes me think of like scoring in general, like how do you score? And it feels so passive when it's happening, when you're playing a really good round. But there are moments where it feels like an active choice of I'm going for the green and it works out. And like, that's how I'm scoring a birdie, or that's how I'm getting close to the hole. So it's just weird balance of when you're trying to score, you attack when you can, and you have to let go sometimes and just take the par putt. Like give yourself that tap in par when you're getting into a moment in the round where you're getting anxious essentially about your score or something like that, because it creeps up on you. And then if you let it overcome you and you start attacking too often, you can really get hit by
and that's what's I hear some people say like they like to start with, like, they don't like to start with a birdie,
right?
And is that anxiety that it provokes?
I think it provokes like a sense of what's going to happen today. Like you go from having no expectations in the birdie drops, and you go, okay, what else? Can I birdie the next one? Like, is this what
Am
life
I supposed to birdie the next one?
Yeah, it's like, I think I can birdie the next one. And then you start thinking that. And
I am supposed to birdie the next one.
Right, yeah. You
start. And then OB.
Yeah, almost every time you'll bogey. If you birdie the first
why
hole.
do you always hear people joke? A lot of amateurs will joke like they double a hole. They're like, it's because I birdied the one before. I've heard that like 1,000 times.
Dude, it's because you think you can take driver off the next hole just because you birdied.
Like as if that event has something to do with the next hole physically.
It happened to me at Saboba. I'm playing some tournament and I birdied the first hole with an incredible putt, honestly. And the next tee shot, I had this.
You're like, I'm on fire.
I have this plan.
But that's a putter.
I have this plan on hole 2 where you go to the left fairway every freaking time. But this time I'm like,
I developed that plan with you.
Yeah. But this time I was like, well, actually, if I aim at the trees, I can cut it off the trees and get in the normal fairway. And I was like, let's try it. It ends up on the stump of a tree.
You would have rather gone in the water.
I mean, almost, because I was behind this tree and then ended up making double. So it was like, but if I stuck to my plan, pretty much if I had parred that first hole, I would have stuck to my plan and moved on from there.
Right.
But didn't do that.
Oh my God.
I just think when you birdie, especially early in the round, you start to gain confidence, and confidence is a dangerous thing because it leads to making decisions that are clouded by I can do anything. Like I'm this narcissistic person that can do anything on this golf course with this club and the ball, but it doesn't work like that.
Most parts of life, confidence is really good. Like your job or whatever, confidence is good to have confidence, but golf, it's like the worst thing.
I mean,
it's the worst thing. Confidence is not good in golf because you'll start to make confident, dumb decisions.
Because there's too many hazards around. Like usually in your work life, the hazard is like not that bad. You can pick it back up in 2 weeks from now on the other bi-weekly. Like it doesn't affect that much. Most people will forgive, but it's when it continues to lead to confident decisions that it's probably a bad.
The hazards in work are like, make sure your camera's off when you actually think it's off. Like, make sure you're muted when you're not talking. Like that's the hazard. It's not a bunker or a lake in the way of your.
No, it's not. But so, yeah, I mean, that overconfidence can be dangerous, but when you need it towards the end of a round,
Yeah,
it can
yeah.
be huge.
Well, that's what's so funny is that you always hear it at the beginning when people go, I birdied the first hole. Now it's not, and then it's like, I've had rounds where I've like doubled the first hole, gone bogey, 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 and then shot 70s.
Yeah.
Which is like that. I brought it almost forced me to get my head straight.
It's like putting yourself behind early forces you to go, okay, I guess I got to focus. Because if you, it's pretty hard to focus on the first tee because there's people around you, there's your friends in the group, everybody's high energy. But like if you can maintain, the way to beat other people is get through hole 10, 11, 12, 13 with a clear head and not letting the end of the game come towards you. It's like having the end of the game be non-existent so that everyone else by hole 14, they're like, I'm like 12 over. I'm kind of over this. You're the one sitting there continuing to just stick to your routine, stick to the things you focus on so that as you're going through those later holes, you don't even think about how long it's been,
right?
Or like what's next.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely, something to think about. I want to go into some of these records. So we know, lowest score with one club. I think we have some opportunity here. I really do think you could beat Thad Daber's record with the 6-iron.
I'm down to try.
And do you think so? Explain what you were telling me earlier about, you think it might be a 7 now?
Well, okay, yeah. So I think, when was that record made?
87, I believe.
So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 87.
The majority of club makers have strengthened their irons. So
right.
My assumption is that if a 9-iron is like a 44 degree now, probably in 87 it was probably a 46, 47 degree iron. And so most likely a 6-iron back then was a few degrees less loft.
Oh, because now sellers want you to hit a 7 and go, it went so far.
Exactly.
That's the funniest to me is they go, our clubs go further.
Yep.
But it's like, you just changed the degree on it.
Yeah. Or, I mean, they did it with drivers where they added an inch or maybe a half inch to the length of it.
And that's a physics thing.
Yeah. It's just purely the farther away that club is from your hands, the longer the radius is. And so if your hands are moving at the same rate, any point farther out on that curve is traveling faster.
So when their marketing says this club goes further, it's because they made it longer.
Yeah, they did,
and it's
that
because were in bed with the USGA who let them go longer.
46 and a half or 47 inches.
And like it used to not be allowed to be that long.
Yeah,
right?
Something like that.
And then the world, the long drive contests, they're allowed to go longer than that.
I would assume. Yeah.
No, they are.
Okay.
They are.
Yeah.
I know that. So they're allowed to actually be longer than USGA. And that is a physics thing.
It's a pure physics. The speed of that club head is moving faster. If you can maintain the speed of your hands, the longer it is, the faster that club head's going.
Right.
So.
Right.
It's just a torque and force equation.
Wow. Okay. So most holes played in 24 hours. Rob James of Canada holds this record, which was accomplished using a cart at Victoria Golf Course. He played 851 holes in June 2004 in Edmonton, Canada. He hit 430 pars, 45 birdies, and a high of 87, and 4 rounds of 68. And this article says, I suspect he had a whole lot of coffee that day. Yeah, I mean, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets to, in episode 1, I made a joke about moving to Canada and playing the maximum amount of holes, and I thought it was going to be like 72 holes or something, but 851 holes in one day. But you need the sun to not go down.
No,
for that one. So that's for sure.
850 holes.
This says he played 851 holes in 24 hours. Yeah.
Wow. How many rounds is that? Yeah.
divided by 18, 851 divided by 18. But yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
47.2 rounds.
That's crazy in one day. So he must have been playing that so fast.
Wow.
And you must have a golf cart that goes, 30 miles an hour too.
Yeah, if he's trying to break some kind of record, then yeah, you get a fast golf cart.
Right.
You have to finish every hole out, so you kind of drive the cart right up to the green, run on the green, and if you're just playing for how many holes you can get, but he scored pretty well.
That's the thing. He was able to not hit it like OB. He didn't waste much time.
Yeah. I mean, the important thing is being good at golf so that you don't have to hit as many shots.
Right. So, okay, here's one. The most holes played in 1 year. This is Chris Adam. He played 14,626. Do that divided by 18. And all on the same golf course. And this is what I love about this. The King Kamehameha Golf Club, which is Hawaii, which I fucking love Hawaii. I think that'd be the place to do something like this.
Right.
What's more impressive is the number of games that they played is the amount of, this is saying that he must have had a lot of free time, obviously. Quite the golf enthusiast, this Chris Adam.
Yeah.
So that makes me, and one of my buddies told me this story. This is a funny one. Tom Colella, he played 140 rounds of golf during his scheduled work hours. And this was a guy from Australia. Okay, so Tom Colella. And then what happened was, so he would put, I guess this was a while ago, but he had his PDA, which was like his cell phone back then. It had a GPS device. He put it inside an empty potato chip bag that was made of foil. So the foil acted as a makeshift cage, and it blocked the electromagnetic signals. And he ultimately got caught by his work. He was found out. An anonymous letter was sent to his company detailing his activities. The company fired him, a decision that was upheld by Australia's Fair Work Commission. So they're like super liberal there. They have more, government. They're like, well, you can't just fire a guy. I mean, we know that in other countries you can't just get fired very easily.
Not at all.
Where in the States it's like they could just fire you and because they just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but either way, reports indicate that after losing his job, Colella started driving for Uber, a job that allows a flexible schedule and presumably more time for golf. So, so he wasn't even the record. So my buddy had told me that he had the record and that he got caught for it. But
wow.
But the guy in Hawaii has the record, Chris Adam. Most holes played in a year.
That was 812 rounds of golf.
Okay, so that is two. I did this math the other day. It's like 2.5 per day or something, divided by 365.
Yeah, 2.2 a day.
2.2 a day. So he's playing like 3, and he's taking then he's doing like 1.5, and he's doing 3. So I mean, I can see that, but we've done 2 a lot.
Yeah, you can do 2 without too much stress.
And remember,
on your body.
the sun in Hawaii is 6 to 6.
Got it.
It's on the equator essentially, so
okay.
it's every day 6 to 6.
Wow. So yeah, if you're playing courses when nobody's playing, you can get through them in like 2.5 hours. So if he's teeing off early and nobody's in front of him, like he could finish the first round and starting at 6 by 8:39.
So the world record of most golf rounds played per year is 2.2 rounds per day.
Per day, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you do that? Okay, you need to live somewhere where the sun's up, but it needs to be up. It can't be half the year. So Hawaii is perfect because it's like more around. It's closer to the equator. I mean, a place like Fiji is like on the equator.
Yep.
But you're basically getting in Hawaii like a 6 to 6.
Yeah.
Sunlight. And then your 2.2 rounds. I mean, if you tee off at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I mean, you could do it.
You could totally do it.
I mean, I feel like that one's breakable.
That would you'd have to be a member somewhere, obviously, so you don't have to pay for your rounds, or else that would cost a lot. But
yeah, well, a member does pay for their rounds in a way.
Prepaid,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
but that would definitely be taking advantage of your payment.
Well, that would be quite, yeah. You'd be like the most active member there for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's willing to break that because I'm not sure who has that.
Dude,
kind
I
of
feel like I
time.
could break that tomorrow. Like you give me you put me in Hawaii and give me every day in a golf course to play.
Yeah.
2.2 rounds. I mean, that's 40 holes a day.
Yeah, so you're playing 3 rounds some days, 2 rounds the other days. It's just that, I don't know, that's crazy.
That one's
imagine.
easier to break than Thad Daber's 6-iron shooting 70.
Okay, I'll break that one before you break the yearly one.
Yeah, no, that's a good challenge. I don't know, man. I feel like there's going to be a hole where with the 6-iron where it just doesn't go your way, where it's like
it's just like most holes have an opening at the front of the green. So like that's all you really need to be able to bounce it up. And we've talked about that before where hey, the front of the green is almost always like a fairway with a bunker on the side. And so you're pretty safe being able to bounce it up like a senior golfer who's just kind of hitting these low shots that bounce on. And once you're on the green, you master how to putt with the 6-iron and it's not that bad.
Right.
So
right. Well, I'm excited to. I do think you could break that one, but yeah, it's not like I'm moving to Hawaii anytime soon. So,
right.
so it's clear, it's a good bet.
Yeah.
We have going.
Yeah, I wonder how these guys who break records, like what their mindset is, if it's the record or if it's truly just doing it for fun and they happen to break a record because they're so into it and they don't really get too far past that record goal. Hey
man, so question for you, like, do you think you're gonna make another run at the tour? Like I know that life has been kind of going in different directions and that, but I feel like your golf game has not gotten, I feel like your golf game's gotten almost better as you've gotten busier with life.
Yeah, I mean, the game has truly become a mental game at this point where it's like there's not really a physical part of the game I can't achieve with practice, but it comes down to, can I make the decision at the right time? Can I make the right decision at the right time?
But do you want to make the right decision? Do you want that? Do you want it?
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering.
Well, I do enjoy being out there more than most places. So there is an aspect of the game that I'm willing to push for and would be so down to try. I've tried it before and I see the funding that's needed and the dedication, and I would be dedicated to it, but there's certain limiting factors, and really it comes back to the handicap and going, I know what my handicap needs to be.
You Ted told me that, yeah.
And so no matter what course I play, I should be able to.
What were you saying to me? It was like if you can get to a 5 or a 6,
if I can get
a +5 or a +6, you're at a +2 right now.
Right. If I can move that
right.
this in the next 9 months to a +5, which would essentially mean making more putts, which is just a hard thing to try to do. But if that could happen, then if I saw the +5 on the GHIN handicap, I would definitely be like, okay, I'm ready to go play some people who are also +5s. But coming at that with a +2, thinking you can beat a +5.
You're just trying to get lucky out there.
Yeah, you're just trying to get lucky and have them have a bad day. And that's just not the way to approach professional golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be consistently better than 90% of your competitors, and then only the 10% are you hoping that they have a bad day and you have a good day. Like, that's the difference between winning.
Well, and that's what I love about the GHIN. Because I have friends that are minus, that are 4s, regular 4s, 5s, and there are, I guess maybe it's 2 or 3, but you're allowed to enter the USAM.
Yeah, usually that's under 3.2 or 2.7.
You're allowed to enter.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like they really need to get lucky, too.
Yeah. But we all have
that's not what they're thinking, but it's like I know that they really need to get lucky, and then it ends up, sometimes it goes south. They hit an OB.
Yep.
And it's like you can't go OB during a qualifier.
No, you
for
have
the
to make the decision
for the US
that
Amateur. Right?
You have to be smart enough to make the decision that doesn't go OB, or else your handicap is not low enough. Like the handicap kind of determines your golf intelligence plus the skill and physical ability.
I see.
So because once you get down to near scratch, it's really testing both sides, and the further down you go, like the more it becomes just a mental decision game.
Yeah.
Like chess. And then there's the other tiger aspect, which is, can you hold on to a lead? Like, can you be competitive and actually maintain the stature and focus even when you have a 5-shot lead?
Right.
Because like if you can hold a 5-shot lead, that's where the winners are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too easy to be like, oh, I don't mind getting second place, so whatever if this guy beats me. It's like you have to have that tiger mentality.
Right. Right.
Which is really hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cheers, man. Cheers. I know that was kind of a personal question, but I really do. I've always kind of wondered where you're at with, are you going to make a run? Because I know there's a lot of people out there,
yeah,
cheering for you.
Yeah, so. It comes down to me. The signal is the handicap, and can I win at least an amateur tournament this summer?
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I mean, you're.
It's a goal.
It's mathematical.
If that can happen, then I'll have some more faith in myself.
To start investing in, because really what we're talking about is it comes down to, do you want to pay the entrance fee to enter tournaments and qualifiers? Like it's like that's what every guy every person listening to this is thinking. Maybe they have a different handicap and they're at a stage where they're going, I want to get on tour, and really it comes down to like time to play, money to enter the tournament. I mean, purely logistically speaking, that's what it does come down to.
Yeah.
And then the golf is like almost, secondary.
The golf is what you learn through practice and playing, but like the logistics are what the pros are really good at because they've been doing it. And that's why you hear veteran golfers can beat a brand new guy who might literally be better, but he didn't know what to eat the night before. Or he didn't know
what hotel to stay at.
Yeah, what Airbnb to stay at because the drive is 20 minutes from this one, but an hour from this other one. So,
right,
like these tiny details they figure out, and a veteran doesn't even think about it or worry about it. But
they're not even thinking about it.
No,
probably. Yeah, they're just on autopilot.
Yeah, the other part is a team. Like most people think golfers are solo. It's a solo sport.
Not at all, right?
But what we found is that it's purely like there is a team behind that player. And if everyone's not on the same, sphere of understanding, the team will fail. And
right.
So it's not just the caddy and the player. It's like 6 other people, usually.
Yeah. To get to a +5 or a +6, you probably can't do it by yourself.
No, you should. I kind of need a coach because I'm at the point where, like I said, I can physically hit the shots. I can mentally make the right club choice. But like there's something that I haven't discovered yet with finding the low score after 4 rounds or after a round. Like where does that come from? And I just haven't found it. And that's why I'm reading a lot of Buddhist works.
Oh yes, please. I really want to hear more about this.
Yeah, it's kind of
like, this is like the Eastern kind of
it's
literature,
Buddhism and Taoism. It's all really interesting to read as a Westerner, and the author that I really come to enjoy is Alan Watts because he provides all of this information in the perspective of a Westerner learning about Eastern religions and Eastern methodologies and ideas, and puts it in very plain text of like, why do Westerners think a certain way and why do Easterners think a certain way? And a lot of it comes down to, in his writing, to Taoism, which is essentially the way. And it's getting an understanding of the fact that the way things are the way things are, and you actually are just part of the whole.
But it totally flips like how Westerners, how we think of things.
It's
even,
inverted. Right? It's really hard to explain. So that's why Alan Watts uses tons of analogies. But like we often think that there's like this ruler who helped build whatever the world is, even if it's the Big Bang, like creating all of this matter.
Sure.
Like we think of an event as the starting point, and that we were born and we live and then we die, but like dying is a big event for us, and all of these things that create like a hierarchical system of leaders and people who obey and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But these Eastern ideas are much more everyone is equal and everyone is the same. So like there's no difference between you and me. Like we're literally the same energy and the same part of the world and the universe.
I see.
So like I said, it's hard to explain.
Well, it sounds like you're kind of like deep in the middle of a chapter, you know?
Oh yeah. Like I said, it doesn't really end. And
right. I think that's kind of the point.
it's a paradox
right? Yeah.
that Westerners often use. I think Christianity is just the main religion, but like that Christian base is the explanation of the world and how it is. But the Eastern idea is like there is no end or beginning. There's no top or bottom.
But so what was the quote that he had about the ocean or something that was kind of like we kind of related it to golf a little bit?
Oh man. Basically like the energy that moves through the ocean creates a wave, right? And so this wave is moving through the water, but like the water itself isn't actually moving. So we're kind of these energy waves that essentially the like I just said, the water isn't actually moving. These waves are moving and the water's just going up and down.
Right.
So we're like part of this mesh of the ocean, and it's like I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you sent me that quote, I was kind of trying to, you know, in my mind, I was kind of trying to relate it to golf and the cosmos and stuff.
Yeah, let me see. I think I have it right here.
Oh, nice. But I mean, I've thought about in the past about like weightlessness. Like sometimes when I'm swinging, I've swung better when I'm imagining I'm in like water. So there was a time where half my body was like in water and I pretended I was swinging the golf club, and that kind of weightlessness. And then I took that out to the golf course and I played like an amazing round.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like we could sell like these places that have these pods of water, and you do your golf swing and then you get out and it's like, all right, now go play.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I was the tension was gone. Like because I was underwater, you know, that feeling of weightlessness, and it's like energy or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that weightless feeling as if I was swinging in the space station.
Yeah.
And then I took that out to the course, and then all of my I feel like maybe it helped tempo.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like you reduce gravity because you're in water, you're buoyant. But
why does NASA, like, why is there videos of they have like the craft like at the bottom of like a 50-foot pool? And why are they moving around in water? Like,
well, yeah, because you've essentially, if you're buoyant enough in water with a wetsuit or something like that, like you actually are weightless in the water.
So that's why they do those practice.
Yeah, because there's an upward force from buoyancy, and then the downward force
like
of
space.
gravity. It's essentially a mimic of space.
Being underwater
with the right level of buoyancy versus water pressure and gravity. Because like a weight falls in water still, like a big weight. But if like we're filled with water, right? So like we are semi-buoyant in water.
The weight's not filled with water, but we are.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So like
that's
why
sense.
You jump in, you kind of float, and also you have like gas in your lungs and things.
Okay.
But so we can mimic weightlessness in water, and so practicing a golf swing is like I see that as a way to, without the force of gravity, can you get in the position that you need to, and it makes it a lot easier to get in that position. Because then
to get into that position, I need to like turn my leg in the right direction,
right,
and like get into like the right, like you can't be all over the place, you know, you can't just be flapping around underwater and getting the club head to the tee, to the ball.
No, because momentum, it's kind of like in space, you throw an object, it keeps flying. It won't stop because there's no other force acting upon it. but in water, it does a similar thing where you swing the club backwards and it's going to keep going because the tension in your body is not enough to hold it. And so as you're finding those positions, like there's just less force against it.
Right.
So you have to place it there. You can't just let it fall.
Yeah, there's something about that. The underwater. When I practiced, and that was only half my body, so it was my legs underwater.
Yep.
And then my arms was able to come up and pretend I was swinging, but it was just my legs holding back.
Yeah.
But by being held back by the water. And
I'm sure what you felt is as you were swinging through, you felt your body move in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like there was
I couldn't do any like herky jerky movements because the water's not going to let you.
Yeah, and your feet weren't grounded on with all of gravity on them.
Right, exactly, 100%.
Yeah. The quote, just to read it, was, "Waves are continuous with the ocean. Your body is continuous with the total energy system of the cosmos. It's all you."
Hold on, say it one more time.
Waves are continuous with the ocean. Your body is continuous with the total energy system of the cosmos. It's all you.
Mm.
And then the last sentence of that paragraph is, "But you're playing the game that you're just this tiny little bit of everything." So the idea is that like we are often looking the cosmos and like, man, I'm just this tiny little being on Earth in this giant galaxy. Like, do I matter? Right? But in reality, you're equally part of the energy of the cosmos as a planet. Like every little part is dependent on the other parts. And so you couldn't have anything without everything. It's just a paradox, but the analogies he uses are really good for trying to place yourself in that system. And the way I try to apply this to golf is quite simple. And it's that when you're looking out at your next shot, right? So visualizing your next shot, you're in the middle of a fairway. You see all these trees, you see the bunker, you see the pin, and you think of them as objects in space, right? Like the air is empty, right? There's nothing there but the tree. But in reality, the space is equally important to the tree, because without the space, the tree wouldn't be there. Without the tree, the space wouldn't be there. I love
that. Yeah.
And so the way I try to utilize this idea is, as I'm standing over the ball, I visualize the whole plane of what I'm seeing as one, trying to just remove the idea of that's a tree. It's like, this is just a area of space with bumps and valleys and ups and downs.
Right.
And then from that point, I zoom into where I want this little ball to fly with specificity, and saying, this is the trajectory. There's the hole. I want it to fly this way. And it helps draw the picture with like
so you're not tripping out. There's a tree, there's a tree, there's a tree, there's a lake, there's a lake, there's a lake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's purely there's this whole space we're all in, and then finding the target. It's like it comes out at you. It's the wildest feeling when the trajectory of the ball comes at you. That
would be amazing if the tree and the lake didn't come out at my eyes, and the target actually.
Yeah, the target and the shot shape, because that's really what you have control over the ball. You just don't realize it because maybe you haven't hit enough perfect shots or something like that. But you're the one hitting the ball and in control of it. So if you can find that pathway that the ball needs to go, you're much more likely to hit that pathway.
And thinking of it as this large canvas, that's the whole universe.
Yeah.
It's that
you can zoom out as far as you want. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Because in our heads, we can kind of do out of body experiences, even when we're not on shrooms, right? Like we can actually zoom out and imagine we're in this room, we're in a neighborhood, and then you keep going and you can do this mental exercise. And the wider you can get, the more broad and soft it becomes. And so then you take all that and go.
I mean, I take the more out of body experiences I have per day, I take it as a win. Like if I can just be driving and be like, that guy's at a red light and he's in Irvine and he's in California, this guy.
That's the trippy idea, because it's like,
and there's a plane flying over him, and then there's a space station above him, and then there's a SpaceX satellite launching behind him. So the more out of body, moments I can get, I mean, I take those as small wins.
Yeah, and you can actually voluntarily do it.
That's kind of all you can, that's all we can take from the day sometimes.
Yep.
When you have a real shit day, then maybe that's just what it was. You go, that was nice. I didn't realize I was sitting at a red light for 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah,
no, literally. And so it's just a mental exercise I try to do on as many shots as possible. And
then if you can do it during a golf shot, then
that, I'm telling you,
you might be able to get to plus,
It's a powerful mental exercise. Once the physical game gets into place consistently, your swing has to be consistent to be able to trust it.
But I think there's so many people out there that when there's a goddamn lake on the left, it's like lake. And I don't care, even if they tell themselves, don't think about the lake, now they're thinking about it. But what you're saying is, can you zoom out further and be like, you're just a guy standing in space.
Yep.
And a lake is just part of space.
Yep.
But it's like, and
it's
then,
equal.
so then you start to go, can this ball go, can I actually now envision, now that I've zoomed out enough, can I envision a ball landing, not in the lake?
Yeah. Well, what happens is you see all possibilities. You go, it could go in the lake, could go in the bunker, could go on the green, I could chunk this. The ball could go anywhere. But you find the correct solution by having the option.
But the fact is, the lake is not that much different than the fairway. It's just a place in space.
Yeah, it has no value.
It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, you remove.
It's just, I'm not concerned with that. I'm going to aim over here.
Exactly. So it's a fun exercise to try. It's really difficult. It's essentially meditation before a shot.
Right.
Because like in meditation, you're trying to let thoughts come in and they just pass by.
Well, I joked in episode 1 that I wish I could pretend I was on shrooms before every single tee.
I think
like if I could just remind myself that, then I would be, so blown out of my mind and so zoomed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That maybe I could hit the damn fairway.
Yeah.
But it's like how call it what you want, but it's like you got to be able to look at it and visualize it. So how do you visualize it?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what we're getting at.
Yeah, so the visualization comes from seeing a lot of your shots go consistently. So when you go on a range, sometimes it's okay to hit a slice, but keep hitting the slice. Like, see that ball fly, and your body will usually naturally correct it because you kind of want to go straight. So if you know the mechanics of how the club hits the ball, you can adjust things to where it's going to go a little bit straighter, but you just need to see. It's all about reps, really. Just like seeing that ball go where it ends up. And you actually do have to watch it. And once you watch it enough, you see that ball flight, and it's like the tracer in one of those YouTube videos where you hit the ball and it goes flying and you see the tracer. It's like, that's what the pros are visualizing. They're seeing essentially the tracer from their TrackMan.
Those tracers are kind of bullshit. I've been messing with them. You can actually set the tracer on like where you want it to land. So
okay. Yeah, then let's put it.
I think maybe only on like the PGA Tour that's a real trace. Right. But those tracer apps, if you guys have messed with them, you can literally be like, drop it here. That was a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but yes, to your point, you're visualizing a tracer in your head, a true one.
I'll finish with the most simple way of visualization. It comes down to trajectory, right? So you have a 9-iron in your hand. You hit it. Let's say you're hitting it consistently, whatever. It flies at a certain launch angle, and you see the trajectory, and it's just kind of like, okay, a 9-iron goes here, an 8-iron goes here, 7-iron, 6-iron, 4-iron, driver. That trajectory launch angle is kind of all the picture you need, because once you have that picture, your brain is very, very good at throwing a baseball to first base. Like, most people can grab a baseball, never really thrown it before, okay, with some experience, and throw it to the first base and be decently accurate. But you didn't think about what club you were hitting. You didn't think about anything, but you knew, if I launch it at this trajectory with this speed and force, it's probably going to land near the first baseman. So you can do the same thing with golf, and standing behind the ball, if the only thing you can visualize is what launch angle I'm going to launch this at, that's a great starting point to say, that's my visualization.
Just looking at trajectory.
Yeah, and the way you can do it is, let's say you're near trees, you go, it's going to launch at that branch or at that cloud up there. It's just being specific before you hit it so you get some feedback.
Yeah, looking at that launch angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually don't have to worry so much about the result.
No.
At that point, right? Because
that's the whole the ending idea, I think, is once it's in the air, once it's off your putter, there's no value to what happens, and you just move on to the next shot. It's really hard to do because we all like want to make the shot.
Yeah.
You have to remove desire somehow.
Right. Well, hey man, we could talk forever. I think that's a good one to end people to end on, is the thinking about not worrying about the thing, visualizing trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a powerful concept, and that's helped me a lot. That's something you've told me in the past, and I forgot about it actually until you brought it up. I just want to bring up that you can buy merch if you want to support this mission to lower our handicaps through the cosmos, right? golfinthecosmos.com. There's merch available. I mean, we just redesigned the hat. It's looking really nice. There's some good shirts, some sweatshirts, but that's the best way. If you've made it this far in the pod, it's time to buy some merch. All right. So we want to see you out there wearing the Spaceman, on your shirt and on your hat.
It's on the Instagram shop.
It's on Instagram shop. It's on golfinthecosmos.com. It's everywhere. Yeah. So that's the best way to support the pod. Keep this good stuff going. Just want to thank everyone out there from the bottom of our hearts, honestly, for listening and for following us on this journey. Let's lower our handicaps. Let's do it. Let's find a way, everyone. So, Andrew, pound it. Thanks so much. And we'll talk to you all next time.
Thank you.
Peace.